Welcome back to More Law on Fox 19, your legal questions live, with local broadcaster and award-winning reporter Deb Haas and Cincinnati personal injury attorney Don Moore, recognized by Ohio super lawyers. More answers, more help, more law on Fox 19.
Welcome back. We are talking about on-the-job injuries and workers' comp today. Give us a call at 513-421-4691. Back again with Don Moore and Barney Fox. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
You two have kind of something in common, is that right?
Yeah, in fact we do, Deb. As was mentioned on our first show, my son is actually the fourth generation practicing law here in Cincinnati, and Barney has some of the same family issues. Barney, why don't you tell everybody about that?
Oh, my grandfather was, I think he was the first municipal judge here in Cincinnati. My father's been a lawyer for over 50 years. He's retired now, and I have a daughter who's graduating from law school. So
and you've been practicing around. And you've been practicing for over 30, haven't you?
33 or so.
But who's counting?
Yeah, who counts?
I knew I was in good company, though. So, and I do believe we have another call. Let's go to John in Middletown. John, go ahead.
Yes, what I'm calling about is I'm an electrician, and I was up on a ladder about 12 foot, and what had happened is I got knocked off the ladder, and I broke both of my ankles, took chips out of my heels, and I busted my feet up all to pieces. I was on workman's comp for about 3 months, but when I went back to work, I could only work for about a month, a little over, and had to take back off of work for a little while. But I'm still finding I'm having a lot of problems. So what would be the best way to take care of this?
Well, there are a couple issues that immediately pop into my head. First, where you tied off, if you're up in the air over 6 feet, I believe it is, they require certain protection for you so you don't get hurt. A tie-off, something along that line. If you're on a ladder, there could be a violation of specific safety requirement. Employers are required to comply with certain specific safety requirements. It's not just a clever name. And you have to do these things, otherwise you may be entitled to a penalty because of this situation. Going forward, I don't know the situation why you're cut off temporary total now, but it sounds to me like, you know, they've returned you to a light duty job, and maybe that's what's going on there.
Barney, when you talk about a specific safety regulation, there is a claim, the violation of a specific safety regulation, VSSR claims, right?
That is correct.
And that kind of amps things up for the employee, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's a specific award to the employee. It's an additional award from 15% to 50%. So if the employer is found to have violated it and you get a 50% award, which is really high, instead of getting $100 in compensation, you would get $150 in compensation.
And that can add up.
That can add up, especially with a serious injury like this man has.
Okay. John, we hope that was helpful. And next we go to, is it Tara in Cincinnati? Go ahead.
Hello?
Carol, go ahead.
Yes. I was injured twice on the job, once in '98 and once in '99. I fell both times due to water incident. And I was, at the second time, I was 62, and I went through rehabilitation and everything, and workers' comp had me go through all this
retraining? Or?
Yes, and I did what they wanted me to and everything, and then I was informed that I could go back to work so many hours a day, take so many breaks. I tried this for 1 day, 2 days, and I found I couldn't do it. Now I settled everything, but now I'm sorry I did because I'm having further complications, and somebody told me I could refile my workers' comp claim. Is this true?
After a settlement, is somebody able to do that?
No, they aren't. Generally, I would say no, you're not entitled to. It depends on whether or not you truly settled it. A lot of people are under the delusion, I guess, that they've settled their case when they really haven't. There is a certain type of award called a permanent partial disability award that you will get as a lump sum. The doctor will look at you and say 10% disabled or whatever, and you'll get this payment. A lot of people think that that terminates their case. It doesn't. It opens it up for another, under the current law, another 5 years. So
her approach would be to get in touch with someone just to see if it had been settled and what was up with the paperwork?
Absolutely. You have to get in touch with somebody, take a look at the paperwork, and see if, in fact, you did settle it.
Okay.
Very good. Good.
Great information. And let's see, we have Vernon in Amelia. Vernon?
Yes. I was injured. I live in Amelia. I was injured in Hebron. A tractor trailer pulled out. We were unloading it, and the driver pulled out unexpectedly. I was thrown out of the truck, twisted all up, knocked out. Well, they've been taking care of me medically, except this happened in November. I have a torn rotator cuff, torn bicep, torn ACL, tore cartilage, tore meniscus, and they changed insurance companies January 1st. So everything that I was supposed to have surgery, then the new company come in and says no, and they've been arguing about it. They sent me to another doctor. In the meantime, I'm taking painkillers because it's very hard. I can't even raise my arm. So they finally sent me to another evaluator doctor, but it's going to take another 3 weeks. I feel like I'm in left field. I have nobody that helps with you to guide you, and I'm just sitting here in pain.
Right. Go ahead. What would you suggest on?
Yeah, what I was going to say, the first thing I'd like to know from Vernon is, have you, the person that caused your injury, the person who pulled the tractor trailer forward quickly, which caused you to be injured, were they working for the same company as you were, or was it somebody else?
That's correct. Same company.
Okay. All right. And Barney, what would you suggest for this caller?
The first question I have is, what state were you hired in, and what state did you work from?
Both Kentucky.
Both Kentucky. That would be a Kentucky claim then.
Okay.
Just because he lives here in Ohio
Yes.
doesn't mean that he's entitled to Ohio workers' compensation.
Yeah.
I am presently receiving workman's comp. I get it every week. That part's not the problem. I just want to get fixed, and the pain is just growing.
So this is about having the surgeries that you need.
I went through all the therapy that they said, and then they said no more. It needs, it's not feasible. Your injuries are too much. And then the insurance company keeps arguing.
That's not an unusual event, is it?
No, it's not. It happens. I'm not really familiar with Kentucky law because it's a complete different issue.
Okay.
Super.
Well, best of luck to you there, Vernon. And we are going to take another break now. If you have questions about being hurt on the job, give us a call, 513-421-4691. We'll be right back. The Kentucky and Ohio Bar Associations require that we give the addresses of the attorneys who appear on the show. Barney Fox has offices in Cincinnati and Amelia. His number is 513-961-6644, and the web address is foxfoxlaw.com. Don Moore can be reached at the Moore Law Firm on Nimitzview Drive in Cincinnati. The number is 513-232-2000. The web address, moorelaw.com, or go to fox19.com and click on More Law. Now, we wanted to get back to the question that Vernon, our last caller, had. He has a lot going on, Don. You mentioned he just needs to get somebody on his side.
Yeah, he really does. You know, I was a former claims adjuster, and basically the deal is this. They have professionals who work on their side, either the company or the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. An individual is not a professional. They can't handle their own claim if it gets complicated or tricky. Vernon's in a lot of pain. He needs help. Barney, what would you suggest you do?
I would suggest if he knows any people in Kentucky who have attorneys and they're happy with them, or if he has other friends who know someone, I think it's important that he go see somebody and seek advice on this issue. He could also contact the local bar association.
Very good. And you just, some things you just shouldn't do by yourself.
That's absolutely correct.
All All right. I think we are out of time for today. Don, let's talk a little bit about what's on tap for next week.
Next week, we're talking about consumer fraud. We're going to have someone here from the Better Business Bureau to talk about scams and ripoff and how to avoid being a victim of a scam or ripoff.
And then coming up after that on April 9th, I guess, fighting the insurance company, April 16th, bankruptcy.
I think that's the schedule.
All right,
I think you're right.
Then we're all on the same page, which is good. Mr. Fox, Barney Fox, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure.
You said that the time goes a little faster than you thought it
does.
might.
It really does.
All right. Well, great. Well, hopefully we were able to give out some good information, and please join us again next Monday morning at 9:30 again, taking your questions about how to avoid becoming a victim of consumer fraud. Have a great week, and we will see you next Monday morning.
The program you were watching was a paid advertisement.